For the first time in over 50 years, humans are actually going back to the moon. So what does this 10-day journey really look like? Let's be clear, this is no tourist trip. This is a super high-stakes test flight, and it's designed to push the Orion spacecraft to its absolute limits before we ever try to land people on the surface again.
Alright, so who are the 4 pioneers tasked with this incredible mission? Let's meet the crew that's going to lead humanity's return to deep space.
Leading the charge is Commander Reed Wiseman. With him are pilot Victor Glover and mission specialist Christina Koch and Jeremy Hansen from the Canadian Space Agency. It's an international crew, which really shows this is a global effort.
Okay, the first couple of days, they are absolutely critical. It's all about getting off the planet safely and making double, triple sure that every single system on that Orion spacecraft is ready for deep space.
They don't just point the ship at the moon and hit the gas. The first 24 hours are basically a full-on dress rehearsal in high Earth orbit. This is their only chance to test everything, and I mean everything, from the water dispenser to the toilet, while they're still close enough to make a quick U-turn if anything goes wrong. They don't commit to the journey until Mission Control gives that final go.
And that final push? It's called the Trans-Lunar Injection, or TLI. Think of it as the most important engine burn of the entire mission. It puts them on what's called a free return trajectory, which is just a super clever bit of orbital mechanics. It means this one single burn is powerful enough to get them all the way to the moon, use the moon's gravity to swing them around, and then send them right back home, even if their engines totally failed later on.
And just to give you an idea of the kind of power we're talking about, the main engine has enough thrust to launch a car from 0 to 60 in just 2.7 seconds. Yeah, that's the kind of kick you need to leave Earth's gravity in the rearview mirror.
So, after that TLI burn, the engines go quiet. For the next 3 days, Orion is just coasting through the vastness of space. But coasting doesn't mean relaxing. Not at all. The crew is going to be incredibly busy running through a packed checklist.
This is their time to fine-tune their trajectory and run critical safety drills. On day 3, they're practicing medical procedures. Day 4 is all about prepping the cameras for the big show. And on day 5, they do these crucial spacesuit functionality tests, making sure they could survive an emergency if the cabin ever lost pressure.
Then, about midway through day 5, they cross this invisible boundary in space. Orion enters the lunar sphere of influence. That's the exact point where the moon's gravity finally starts pulling on them harder than the Earth's. For the crew, that's the moment they've truly arrived.
And this is the moment everyone's been waiting for. Day 6 is the main event, the flyby of the far side of the moon. The mysterious side that we can never ever see from Earth.
As they loop around that lunar far side, the crew of Artemis II is set to absolutely shatter a 50-year-old record. They will travel farther from Earth than any human in history, period.
They're on track to smash the record set by the Apollo 13 crew, pushing way past 248,655 miles from home. I mean, to put that in perspective, that's like flying around the entire Earth at the equator 10 times over.
And out there, at that record-breaking distance, they also go silent. For almost an hour, the moon itself is going to physically block all communications with Earth. It'll just be 4 people, completely on their own, gazing at a landscape that no human eye has seen for half a century.
After all the awe and wonder of that flyby, the mission's focus shifts entirely. It's time to come home. And believe me, the journey back is just as demanding and dangerous as the journey out.
The trip home is all about preparation. Day 8 is especially intense. They're going to practice flying Orion manually, just in case the autopilot fails. And they even drill on how to build a makeshift radiation shelter out of supplies. Preparing for the worst as they head for the best, home.
And then, day 10, the grand finale. The crew module separates from the service module that's been its lifeline. The heat shield turns to face the fire. They hit the upper atmosphere at nearly 25,000 miles per hour, bleeding off speed as a whole series of parachutes deploy for a final, gentle splashdown.
The physics of re-entry are just staggering. As Orion plummets through the atmosphere, its heat shield will have to endure temperatures of 3,000 degrees Fahrenheit. That is hotter than molten lava, all to protect the crew just a few feet away.
And finally, after a journey of over 500,000 miles, Orion splashes down in the Pacific Ocean. The crew is home, and the test flight is complete. It's a monumental achievement for a whole new generation of explorers.
But this incredible 10-day flight isn't the end goal.
It's the final exam. With Artemis II proving the spacecraft is ready, it paves the way for the next giant leap, Artemis III, and the first human footprints on the moon in over half a century. The journey has just begun.